Here it is, Ford F750 that we ordered about 6 months ago. So it came in and then it had to go to AA bodybuilders down in South Carolina. It's got a 25-ton panel hitch, which is way overkill for anything this thing will ever pull. This is the 330 horsepower model. I think it's got like 715 on the torque. It's got a 3-way tailgate, which the tailgate will let down at the top, flip out at the bottom for spreading gravel, and it swings out as a barn door. Truck service here in Black Mountain's our go-to for everything. I had 2 air ride seats put in here, so my sweetheart can ride in just as much comfort as me. Had them put a Cobra 29 Classic CB in it so I can communicate with the loaders at the quarry. And of course fellow drivers as we pass them on the road. Had to have an electric brake controller put in here. Interior of this thing is just like sitting in an F-250. It's a work truck. We got the air brakes for the trailer. It's got a hot PTO, so you don't have to press clutch since this thing's got the 6-speed automatic in it. It's got I think a 615 rear in it, so a Briggs & Stratton motor could pull this truck. It's got on this one, that's the air tailgate, so no more reaching out the window for me pulling the handle. There's a lot of plastic stuff on it, like all the trucks are now, and they really didn't know where I wanted them to put the CB antenna, and I don't need to reach 2 or 3 miles up the road, so I came up with the idea to have them mount my antenna behind the cab and put this extra little bracket here, so if I'm going uphill, after a while this antenna could get a little more spring in it, so if the truck was pointing way uphill and that antenna sagged back when we drop the bed, it might, bend it, crush it, and rip it out of the back of the cab. So that's where we had that put for now. And it came from the factory with the airlines for the trailer. There's my man Tyler. What's up, buddy?
Good, man.
How's it going on this thing? He just went over it with me, but we've got the airlines. They've got their own open and close valves, just to keep stuff, when I'm not in use, keep stuff from being able to go back up in my lines. So I'm absolutely thrilled with this thing. He says she's done, so let's go pull some loads with her. Got that new truck smell. All right, let's take this thing for a ride. Okay, so this has the 6-speed, I believe it's the torque shift transmission. It's engineered a little bit different. Parking brake, trailer brake is at your fingertips. So this thing is extremely convenient. You got your manual shifting plus and minus right there. So that was something I was concerned about because I've never had any experience with running an automatic transmission in a little bit bigger truck like this. So we're gonna see just how it does. I definitely like that I can choose to manually shift it. I had the fender mirrors put on this, and the dealer said that they'd never done one of the new 750s with them. So to me it's a little bit of anxiety because I was afraid they were just going to put some of those cheesy aftermarket, 3-point hood mirrors. I was afraid it'd just take this truck, which I think they're beautiful trucks, and make it look terrible, but I think they actually suit the truck quite well. The brakes are phenomenal. It's quiet in here. You don't have to yell to talk, which is something that me and my wife really liked about this. She sat in it with me when we went to pick it up. It's got great mirrors. I absolutely love the mirrors. They look good and they're very functional. I haven't driven any of the 300 horsepower, I think was one of the options, and a 280 horsepower. I just knew that for this size of truck, I need to just go ahead and get the highest horsepower that was offered. The reason I chose the F750 is, one, I just didn't find anything comparable in this size of truck. I know Freightliner makes a little single axle with a small engine. Most of them run the 466, which I think is a 6.8 liter, I think. And this is a 6.7. I had a 6.0 F250. I did not like that engine. It gave me so much trouble that it actually made me say I will never buy a Ford again as long as they're doing that engine. But Ford's had this 6.7 power stroke for several years now, and I've heard nothing but good things. I haven't ever had anybody say that the older F650s were junk. I did hear that they were underpowered, but they were turned down because I guess Ford knew that a lot of people ran the 650 as a rollback, and that people were going to be jumping in and getting mad at their boss and whatever and just floorboarding it everywhere. So that was my understanding why they had them turned down. Like I say, this thing's just like driving an F250. There's nothing, it's extremely comfortable. And even for it being a dump truck and not loaded, you know, you can tell it's got some, it's stiff, but I mean, it's a dump truck. You know, it's got to be able to put, it's rated at 33,000 pounds, and it, the truck with the bed on it, they tell me weighs about 15,000 pounds. I'll know for sure when I go to scale it in at the quarry. I'll be able to tell you guys exactly what it weighs to the pound. I've been told that they're pretty rough on fuel, but right now the average, it's like 9.5, 9.8 miles per gallon, but all that's been interstate miles. Running, you know, from where the truck was built, not positive about that, down to, I think it's Pamplico, around Florence, South Carolina, where AA bodybuilders put the dump bed on it and the PTO system. I love the controls. You got your tarp control here, in and out, and then the bed up and down right here. I mean, just at your fingertips. So, everything on this truck is great so far. I'm loving it. I think it's going to be a great addition to our equipment lineup. Very excited about it, and I figured, what the heck, let's go haul the excavator. That's the heaviest thing we've got to test it out on. Some people are going to be like, well, how fast is it? Well, I don't care. It's not about how fast it goes, it's about how well it pulls. That's where the torque comes in. So let's get up here, hook up to the trailer, get the excavator loaded, and we'll ride you guys down the road and see how it does. Here we are, 2019 F750 Super Duty dump truck. Again, this is the 330 horsepower. It's the most power that you can order this truck from the factory. It's got a Yanmar VIO 80 with an additional counterweight of 800 pounds. So, between truck, which they estimated at 15,000 pounds, plus about a 6,000 pound trailer, plus right at 20,000 pounds. That's 41,000 pounds that this F750 is getting ready to pull. So let's get cruising up the road. I'm pretty excited about this. Ordered this truck and I could not find any videos of really even the 2019 750. Look at her just idle off. Now this is also my first run with this brake controller. It goes up to 50. So we're gonna start out 32. Just do a quick test. Rolls to a stop easy. Feels really good back there. Now I had a 25-ton pintle hitch put on this thing. Not expecting at all to pull any kind of weight near that. But a lot of times with these dump trucks, we get stuck. Even though this truck does have a positive locking, air locking rear differential. And believe me, when you lock that sucker in, you can turn the wheel, it'll just plow straight forward. But if you get in a mud hole or something, snow, and you're just needing to go straight, I think it'll help a lot. But there are many times that we've had to put a chain on that hitch back there and jerk these trucks out. Not this particular one, but trucks similar to this. So you're getting a lot of shock force on that hitch, and that's a spring hitch too. So that'll help even more. Right now, I really can't even feel that excavator back there. It's not noticeable as opposed to from when I just bobtailed in here. Or not bobtail, but came in empty. Whoops, a daisy. Couldn't see him coming. He's gonna stop for me. People drive on these roads too fast. All right. So this is 41,000 pounds. And I'm only at about, I guess, third throttle. We're on pretty flat ground right here. Oh yeah, this thing picks up speed good. Granted, we're on flat ground. We're going uphill a little bit here. Oh yeah, this thing does good. Let's drop her down, keep it out of them higher gears. Oops. Truck tailing on me. Let's try this exhaust brake out. It holds that load back just fine. Let's cruise on down through here. You can tell that the difference in this truck and my last truck. The last truck had a 10-liter L10 Cummins engine in it. It was only rated at 270 horsepower. That's 50 horsepower less than this truck. And it has about 200 less on the torque. And you can tell a difference. The torque is not quite as high, but that much of a horsepower difference. You can tell it has to rev up a little bit higher to put out that same amount of pull, but it's definitely good. Here we go. Let it go up to about 4th gear. That transmission's smooth. Oh yeah, this thing's got a lot better pull. And of course the Cummins that was in my old Ford truck, that was a 1985 model truck, so, and it was showing 450 something 1,000 miles on the odometer. So you can imagine it's probably not putting out 270 horsepower just because of loss of compression over time. Oh yeah, this thing way outpulls the L9000, which is Wilbur, my truck. If you followed us on other videos, smooth, man. This is a smooth truck, and we'll see how it does, you know, once we get into pulling up steeper grades and stuff like that. We'll really see how it does. Engine's not even getting warm, really. It's at operating temperature. Let's go ahead and juice this brake controller up just a touch more. Let's just ease on out here. I'm not going to floorboard this thing, but we're going to let it have it a little bit. I'm telling you, that transmission is smooth, man. Fourth gear there. We got 6. This truck's solid. It doesn't wig-wag any like Wilbur does. Oh yeah. This truck's got it going on, man. Let's just go ahead and let her go into overdrive. There you go. We're running 60 miles per hour at just under... Looks like it runs 60 at 2,000 RPMs. It redlines at 4. I think this one has the 615 rear end, and they say it'll run 75 down the interstate. This way outpulls Wilbur. Now I bet it will not outpull Wilbur first gear to first gear. You know, it's not gonna. Wilbur's first gear is way low. Let's hit the brakes to see how she stops. Oh yeah. It's got the braking power, because that's the one thing that's more important to a professional driver than go power. There's the guys at Monster Tree Service that I've been chatting with about working together on some stuff. Oh yeah, this guy's a tough little guy. Let's see if we can see some 9.3 average miles per gallon. Let's reset that. See what we get just between here and the yard. Let's go ahead and downshift. I am very pleased right now. This is a good setup. It rides phenomenal. Of course, we got air ride seats, but I sit flat on the floor unless I'm going down the interstate anyway. So hopefully this video will help some of you guys out there that are interested. Another reason that I didn't get to, that I chose the F750, is it's a short truck like Wilbur, the single axle L9000. One of the most common projects we do is driveways, and here in the mountains of North Carolina, you can't get even a tandem up some of these driveways, so you end up having to use a loader or a skid steer to shuttle your gravel to the driveway. But with this little guy, it's like driving a go-kart, man. That's about half throttle there. And I'm gonna give this engine plenty of time to get broke in. See how she stops. Now that's 41,000 pounds, folks. This truck's handling it like a pro. You can get this truck in a tractor setup, just with the fifth wheel. This guy's comfortable. This is great. I'm gonna do a little bit longer video than I'd planned, simply because there's no other videos. You know, you see people just talking about them or walking around them, but you don't see them working. I'm telling you, Ford's got this guy figured out. And no, they're not paying me to say this. I wish they were. So we're going up a grade. It doesn't look like it, but we're holding 45 miles an hour. It's comparable to the 10-liter Cummins. You can hear that fan blowing, but it's cooling that engine before it ever starts to get hot. Wilbur had to get up, you know, pretty high before his fan would really kick in and start cooling. I had a switch in it where I could flip the fan on if I knew I was pulling a long grade. This one's automatic fan, and I'm thinking it's probably a 2-speed fan. So naturally, these tend to shift a little bit. Let's go into manual. Just play around with that for a minute. I think I'll probably end up using manual a lot because I'm just so used to manually shifting a truck. I mean, I'm used to an 8-speed or 9-speed or 13-speed transmission in bigger trucks. So it's hard for me to really have faith in a 6-speed, but this guy's, it's there. It's hard to see around that bus. I think I'll just sit here and wait it out. Oh yeah, that first gear, man. That first gear's got it. So yeah, for the size of the truck and the horsepower and torque that it does have, I think this is going to be a great truck for a lot of people. Very good truck. Let's just cruise on in here. It's going to take some getting used to, as far as driving it and just how it's so much different. It feels different than the older dump truck, Wilbur. I'm telling you, the braking systems, that is dialed in. I think this thing's gonna haul 8-9 ton loads of gravel like a pro. I'll be excited to try it out. So now we're pulling down here into my yard. So let's go into manual and just cruise in first gear. I'm thrilled. This is going to be a good setup. It's pretty steep going down here into my yard. It's holding back good. Oh yeah, it's solid. I was beginning to wonder, I mean, I've got my excavator loaded forward on the trailer real well. So we got weight on the rear end, but now empty, this truck is light in the rear end. I'll be the first to tell you, it is light in that rear end. Now, of course, this is 15,000 pounds empty. Wilbur weighs 18,300 pounds empty, so he's a bit more robust of a truck. So let me get this excavator unloaded, and I'll take you a walk around Wilbur and show you how much difference Ford has made in 33 years. All right, folks, here he is, Wilbur. The old ad, 1985, still going. That's got to be some kind of a testament to Ford. 34 years later, this is what has evolved. 2019 Ford F750 Super Duty. I've driven that guy a lot of miles, and I've driven this guy just a handful, but I can already tell you this guy's got it going on. It's a smaller engine. This one has a 6.7 liter Power Stroke. This one has a 10 liter L10 Cummins with a 9-speed transmission. He's got more torque by about 200. This guy has 50 more horsepower, which in the diesel world is quite a bit. We've got decals coming for the door, the bed sides. We're gonna have decals in each section of the tailgate. I had that piece of angle welded on top of the bed at Valley Truck Service because the top of that rail is flat and it's about that wide. And this bed is actually shorter than the buckets on the loaders at the quarry. So when they dump into it, what happens is you end up with a small amount of gravel sitting up there, and you got to climb up there and knock it off, or risk knocking somebody's windshield out. So with that piece of angle up there, when they dump in, gravel will either run into the inside or off the back. And it'll also kick gravel away from this tailgate. So, yeah. Ford, I think you've done it this time. I think you knocked it out of the park. Now let me just go ahead and say, I've had Ford trucks, I've had Dodges, and I'm just really not a fan of either one. I'm a fan of a truck that works, that holds up. So I'm gonna test this truck. The L9000, that guy is tough. He's a beast. He was costing us an average of $2,000 a month in maintenance, which is huge hit to the bottom line. This guy's gonna cost us, I think, about $1,300, a little under payment wise per month. So there he is, affectionately named after Orville and Wilbur Wright, the Wright brothers who pioneered powered flight. And I think that guy's going to just catapult us into the running. So there he is. We're excited. I hope you guys are excited to see us get it. And we've already pulled the excavator with it. I figured up it weighed 41,000 pounds total between truck, trailer, and excavator, and it pulled it like a champ. It never overheated, didn't run hot. The fan kicked on a couple of times between here and a few miles up the road, which Wilbur would have. So I'm thrilled. I'm excited to see where this truck takes us. We're still gonna work Wilbur though. He's not totally retired. He's just going part-time. You guys have a great day, and we look forward to having this guy in more of our videos. Y'all have a great day.